Hello everybody, this is the GoldenLockPicker and I'm back at you here with a lock in the vise and a lock on the bench today. What I have for you guys today is actually an entry video to Lockpicking Hippie's giveaway. Congrats Lockpicking Hippie on reaching 1,000 subscribers. That is an absolutely massive milestone that deserves a lot of credit, and every single one of those subscribers is well deserved. I enjoy watching the videos on your channel, and I'm also very grateful that you took the time to actually invest and watch some of my videos and comment on mine, and that kind of stuff really helps out. The smaller channels just helps us to be encouraged and know that other people are watching, especially somebody who's got as many subscribers as you do. So thank you, I appreciate it. So what I have for you guys today is I have a Toledo 40mm laminated padlock. This is something that you would find at Home Depot in North America. So there's a good chance if you live in North America, in the US or in Canada, you'll probably come across these. And then what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually just going to rake it. And I'm actually going to use the cycloid, or aggressive cycloid, I think it is. I think it's just a cycloid in 23 thousandths from the starter set from Jimmy Long's. And I'll be using their 50 thousandths bottom of the keyway, top of the keyway turner. I will also, after we're done with that, move on to something else, because you wanted us in this giveaway to pick two locks in two different ways. And for that, I'll be raking this first one, but this other one I'll actually be opening is an American lock, HT15, which I absolutely love this lock because it's kind of old. Well, it's not super old. I've got some locks that are even older than I am in my collection. But this is a little older, and it's a round body padlock. I'm a sucker for round body padlocks. I love them. But most importantly, this has a tubular core. And I've shown this off in another video briefly, but I haven't made a full video on this one yet because I still need to single pin pick this guy. And I'm working on that. That'll be something for an upcoming video where I'll actually hopefully both impression this and single pin pick it. So I'll show you that here. I'll show you how impressioning works in a video. And then we'll also go through and we'll rake this 40mm Toledo padlock. And just so you guys know, for this Toledo lock, something is kind of interesting, a little unusual. It has 5 pins to it. So it actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts in the key. Pretty interesting. So let's go ahead here and we'll get to raking. So I'm going to go ahead and rake first. And then as I begin to fall over, at some point, I'm going to kind of switch my style to kind of like a rocking technique, because I feel like this sometimes helps. So first we'll go through rake. Feels like we're falling over. And I'm going to start rocking. And then there we go. As you can see, we got that over. So what that is basically kind of like a hybrid style rake attack. So you're just trying to go back and forth like this as a kinetic, and you try to get a bit of a false set. If you do feel yourself gently kind of slide over, maybe more than you're expecting, but then it's not doing anything more, hold your tension, not super firm, but then begin to rock up and down, and hopefully you will set those using those bumps and those notches on that cycloid. So that's one method. Let's go ahead and clear that guy out of the frame here. And okay, looks like I dropped my background there, but thankfully the vise kind of held it. So we'll keep moving here. And next here, we have that tubular impressioning. So let's show that off. So what it is in a tubular lock like this, every single one of these notches represents a pin in the core right here. And in this one, when you turn it over, it unlocks, but you cannot pull the key because of that notch that's there. and the key, and then you can always turn it back over, put the shackle in, and then you can turn it back. You'll notice that this one has a notch, so it is very important that if you have an impressioning tool, that you have something hopefully that has that notch, mainly for tensioning. That's the main reason for that. But here's the other thing. You'll notice when we look here, this impressioning tool, which comes from Covert Instruments, by the way, not endorsed by them in any such way, shape, or form, nor am I by any of the products that I use here. These are all bought and paid for with my own money. But this tool, the reason I chose it is because the Huck one, I think it is, or there's a cheaper Chinese one that's out there. They kind of just have bands on it, and I like that this one you could actually screw it in and lock it. And basically what happens is, as you press this tool in, it lifts these levers up and it kind of makes an impression. And you'll notice when we look at that notch, as I had pointed out before, we can see right here, all right, it lines up with the notches that are sort of in that key. And then if we look right here at how that looks on that left side, well, albeit it literally impressioned and made basically a duplicate of that key. So we can see that here, and we can see that that works because I've already impressioned it. I'm not going to count that one though. I'm actually going to reset it here. But as I had mentioned before, you do want to make sure that when you go to impression that you have this pin in the correct space. So make note of where the position is on your key. So if you see here, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pins and then a blank, then you would want this at that notch that's right below one of those teeth or those keys. The other one goes here kind of in the corner and then enables us to have one extra pin. So make note of that for your particular application. So what I'm going to do here, since we know that this works, first, before I go to use it, I'm going to make sure that my lock is actually locked up, because it is possible to turn this over, have it turned over, and not actually lock it back, and then you have to impression it again to get it back. So don't do that. It's something you can recover from, but it's very annoying. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this right here. I'm going to use this tool right here to pull all of the teeth forward ahead of the body there. I'm going to press it on a flat surface. And now that it's surfaced, we should see we have a clean slate to start with. Now what I'm going to do is just gently make sure that those are still loose, but not too loose. And you will need to figure this out on your own. There is a little bit of skill to this. And then I'm going to insert the tool. I'm going to begin sort of rocking this and twisting. So pressing and twisting. And there we go. Just like that, with a couple of rocks and twists, you can see we got that open. Now before I take this out, I'm going to make sure to turn this back so that way it's locked. And then I'm going to cinch up this here on the side to make sure that my impression is locked in. I'm going to reinsert my key tool here because it's a little loose. And that's my own fault. No knock on them, Covert, for this product. That's just, that tool is supposed to be able to be removed, and I think I never put it back in a secure enough fashion. There we go. Try to be careful not to bump any of those other pins, and then what should happen is I should be able to insert this again and unlock it, and turn it back. It's unlocked, and just like that, you now have a functional key. So that's 2 locks, 2 different methods for you lockpicking hippie. I appreciate you, your channel. Congrats on 1,000 subscribers. Congrats on so many awesome, cool videos. And then you wanted us to talk about our favorite lock. I've got quite a few, but just before I do that, I want to give a shout out in this video. I'm going to give one to Lock Saga, who is one of my subscribers who has a smaller channel. Well, I shouldn't say he has a smaller channel. He has a smaller channel than Lockpicking Hippie. I'm going to shout out basically anybody who's under 1,000 and then just kind of go from there. Go check out Lock Saga. He's got a kind of interesting video channel and make some fun content. So go check him out. And then also another one I like, since I'm also into lever lock picking, go check out Runesmith. He's got a good channel and got some good lever locks in there. So you wanted to hear about our favorite locks. Well, these two used to be my favorite locks and probably still are. They're pretty close. Round body padlock, big round bodies. Matter of fact, they probably still are. I'd say they're up there. And my favorites are the Ace A527 and then this American Lock 700. The reason this 527 is I was able to get this in my area and I liked it so much. I bought multiples of it in different keying and I loved it. I absolutely loved that I could pick this lock early in my journey. And I still consider this early in my journey, but I was definitely much earlier, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I just remember that deep thunk when that thing opened and I was absolutely enthralled and I loved this hobby after that. And then also the American lock, because this is kind of the lock that spawned all of these large round body padlocks. I know you guys heard me say, well, I thought you said those were. Well, they still are, but they now have a whole bunch of other partners to them. And it's all the other large round body padlocks now. The 6-pin version of this Ace, which is made in the same factory over, and I believe it's Taiwan, the Brinks 627, and then the Toledo TBK 92R 6-pin, and that was an absolutely fantastic lock. And then also the Guard. I think this one's fun because it used to give me fits because it has the worst snowman kind of style pins. It looks like somebody cut these pins by hand. And then also a lock that eventually I'll feature for you guys someday, the jankety US General. This is actually one that, surprisingly enough, I picked multiple times, but has broken. Yeah, the core actually broke. I've never seen a lock where the core is broke before, but that's how janky this one right here is. It broke from Harbor Freight, so gotta love that. But actually, the real two that have joined this that are outside of that round body padlock, one of them is one I just recently picked, and if it wouldn't have been for Nigbee and his tools, I never would have had the joy of opening this massive Chubb cruiser made clear back in, I believe it's 1978. So that's pretty cool. And then first view on this channel, drum roll please, a lock that is pretty rare and does not see a whole lot of attention out there because it's pretty expensive and hard to get a hold of because it's out of production. Master Lock number 19. This is a purple belt lock and it's a beast. Yeah, I love that lock and I cannot wait to pick that thing on camera for you guys. So that's what I've got. Lockpicking Hippie. You made me bring out the big guns for the Hippie 1K giveaway. I hope you have a lot of entries in your giveaway, and I hope you enjoyed my submission. Thank you so much for all that you do and for the content, and thanks for spreading the love in the community. See you, man. Bye.